Do. Wait for it to do its thing. Okay, I see us. I still don't really know how to put our names underneath us because I don't have an overlay. I should probably figure that out. Oh well. I look very tired.
Everybody's tired.
Everyone's tired. Everyone is so tired. Okay, but I do believe. Let me go to actual channel. I do believe we are live.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Ah, yeah, see, you don't look nearly as pixelated on there. So I'm gonna blame Discord. Though, yes, mine is still fuzzy, it looks like.
Well, that's because it's coming through my internet.
Okay.
Because it's literally, it's my camera is going directly from OBS to, but yours is coming from your camera through Discord through my OBS too.
It gets a little fuzzier.
It's a little fuzzy. It's okay. Two people, which is probably both of us. That's fine.
Yep. Oh, more people.
What? Oh, hi. Hello! We're live. We're about to start recording.
Yep.
Do. Speaking of...
Feel free, weigh in. It's cosplay versus costumes, or costumes versus cosplay, whichever way you prefer.
Yes, we're discussing the differences, the similarities, all that good stuff. My face is gonna go bright for a second as I pull up my notes. We're actually a couple of minutes early, surprisingly enough.
I can't do the Macaulay Culkin one because of the microphone, but...
The microphone... Thump. Is your microphone just... Your microphone's just like, nope, don't do that. Please don't.
Nobody wants to be messed with the audio settings again. Oh no, they went away.
Oh well, we're not doing anything yet.
That's true. Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. Everything's fine. Well, I mean, I guess we could go ahead and get started a little early. It's 4 minutes early. Oh, by the way, this is for editing Ember afterwards. Obviously cut this part out. But I am recording a copy of this onto my own computer, so if the Twitch audio isn't great, I will have a copy of it for you. So that's
Was it no good last time?
I don't know. She never answered when I asked her if the audio was okay.
That's fair.
So there's going to be a copy of it at least. So just in case.
A backup.
A backup copy. Let me go ahead and take this out because poor Jackie has food poisoning, which is the worst.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, oh no.
Yep. I was like, no, you're fine. You stay. La 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 la.
Ash has volunteered as an additional if we ever want to have her on the show. The only reason I didn't bring it up earlier when I saw that I knew she would be able to do it tonight.
Right. No.
Because she's in the process of moving stuff right now.
Well, we'll keep her on the back end, and if we need her.
Or if we ever want to do like a photography episode, or
oh yeah, should be good for that.
Yep.
All right, I think we are ready to go. So I will give it a couple of moments of silence, and then I'll launch into it.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to episode 172 of Geek Girls. The Geek Girls podcast is supported primarily by our patrons. You can find us at patreon.com/grills. I am Linda and I'm joined by my co-host Ray.
Ooh.
Ember is still working hard and we were going to have a girlfriend with us tonight, but unfortunately she has food poisoning and Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just us two chuckleheads tonight. But we'll give it our best shot. Today's topic is costumes versus cosplay. Differences, similarities. We're both well versed in both of those, so we'll see where our discussion takes us. What have you been up to this week, or last 2 weeks actually, because we had our production meeting?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, immediately, there was emergency moving for a friend over the weekend, so that kind of like consumed me the whole weekend. But before that, in WoW news, I did get an achievement I was trying to do where you do the main storyline, but on both sides, the Horde and Alliance, and you get two sides to every tale, and you get each other's mounts for that. So I got it. It's done. And it
Yay!
was one of those things they recommended doing before the new expansion because it'll just be harder to do.
Mm.
And then I've been playing a bunch of Among Us. I've got like two different groups. I've got like Jeremy has a group and then Indy has a group. So that's been fun. I've been able to get some Among Us time in and not always mess it up when I'm the imposter. I don't like being the imposter still at this point.
It's stressful.
It is. Like I feel bad, especially if it's a two imposter game. Like I feel like I'm the crappy imposter. Like at one point I tried to we managed a double kill in electrical and they hopped in the vent and I could not get in the vent and I was paranoid somebody was coming because we had cut the lights. So I hit and I was trying to vent and I hit the report button.
Oops.
So yeah, I made it through that round, but the next one they were immediately like, "Yeah, you're out." But imposter stayed, and I think they won, so that was good. And then the only other thing I got was at work. Got the idea to do a hocus pocus drawing on one of our whiteboards. So I have my pen sketch of it. Here we go.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of.
it's a little pixely on
It's
ours.
super blurry, but it's also on my
Well,
Instagram.
yeah.
But it's basically my rough sketch of the four of us. 'Cause it's not management. It's just the customer service boots on the ground crew. So that was fun, and that's my little project. One of my coworkers saw it when he came in today, and he's like, "I like the work you've done," and I'm like, "Good, because it's a bunch of crap right now." It's just like guidelines and eraser streaks, and like I've got like Tay is the only one that's sort of finished, but I also have like 4 colors to use, and that's it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Well, over the 2 weeks, I have done much crafting. I have finished my Wizard of Oz yarn scene. I've got it in its shadow box. Um, I am calling it Some Yarn Over the Rainbow. Um, I don't know what to call the series kind of in general. Like I'm banding around ideas like, either yarnoramas or, yarn at the movies or something like that. Just to be like, look, it's scenes that are kind of that paper crafting thing, but it's yarn instead. I had that moment that I normally do during these weird projects that I do, either crocheting my own cosplay or whatever, where I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then I get past it and I'm like, all right, just finish it. Just finish it. You're halfway through. It's too late to stop now.
I kind of get that.
Yeah.
One of our TV trays just broke, so I have like this beautiful flat surface. I'm like, I could throw it out, or I could paint on it.
Yeah.
But am I gonna paint on it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see. I also made a tea cozy.
Aww.
It's this red and black. It's got like a flower design on the top. It's for my next gardens character because I'm trying to get like everything for her done in, it'll be done and I don't have to do anything like scrambling before whenever our game is.
You'll be prepped, you're ready to go.
Prepped and ready to go. I've made 2 skirts, one out of a couple of old pillow shams and the other out of an old tablecloth. So, I have new clothes. I discovered and painted my horns for my gardens character. Now, I don't know how much of the horn saga I've said on the show, but I was trying to, I had horns that I had bought from Ren Fair that I really wanted to use, but they're super heavy because I think they're made of resin. Or something. I'm not sure what they're made of. And they're so big that they would, fall and, whack my forehead, and it was not comfortable. So I was like, well, I'll make a silicone mold and mold them and then make them out of foam. And after trying that a couple of times, the mold wasn't working. And then I was literally at work doing something and my brain, the one synapse fired. And I was like, I have foam horns. They're props for another character, but I have them. I already own them. So I have finished painting. Hello, cat. My cat has come to join us. I have finished painting and attaching my horns to my headband. I can't put them on right now because I have headphones on. But they're large and they tell you they're
in charge.
They're large and in charge. Very intimidating. And the foam horns were like deer antlers. So if they're meant to be worn originally this way and they had a big thing on the bottom, so I cut that off and I've put them on the headpiece sideways basically so that they curve up and back rather than up and out to the side. So I had a time of it though because I couldn't get them, for some reason I glued them on, they looked straight, I put them on, they were cockeyed. I took it off again. I was like, why isn't this working? I had to take my X-Acto knife and cut them off again, ruining the fabric that's on here, which is why there's a flower on there now because I had to glue over it. And then I had to turn it very slightly and it was a big thing, but I think I finally got them to where they're on the same plane of existence. So I'm happy with those. And then
they look really cool.
The last thing that I did for my character in the past 2 weeks is that I made basically a rig for my really giant wings that's for this character. So it's big.
Cool.
It's a bolero jacket with a pocket in the back so that the wings sit, the bottom of them sit tucked in the pocket instead of being off my shoulders by these little tiny strips of elastic because those aren't gonna cut it for comfort. Yeah. But I had an old bolero jacket pattern that Rebecca made for me for my peacock dress back in the day. So I just made the little bolero jacket without the sleeves and put a pocket in it for my wings to sit in. So now they're going to be very comfortable. Very comfy to wear.
So cool.
There we go. And they can still hang up and be out of the way over there on their own. And the thing I did that was not crafting related, I did a lot of fiddly things and finishing projects, is I played in our Star Wars RPG game. Our role-playing game. I played in our Star Wars RPG, to which our little tiny, Force users managed to escape from a big scary Sith by sheer shenanigans. So that was a lot of fun. So that was what I've been up to. My goodness. I feel like I've been talking for like an hour and a half. I haven't, but
Nope, you're fine.
all right. So, speaking of like costuming and things that I have been
Segway.
segue. It is now time for the discussion topic, which is costume versus cosplay. Now, we thought we would go into this just because there is actually a difference. And I have
The receipts.
the receipts. I actually pulled up it, you know, it's such great oh my god, my brain. I'm sorry, Ember. Research. Such great research I've done by going onto Wikipedia. But cosplay is actually considered performance art. Which, strangely enough, I am a cosplayer and I didn't realize that that's what the world saw it as. But it's considered largely performance art. That where you wear a specific costume and specific accessories to represent a character, whether it be, you know, movies, TV, books. You are representing that specific character. Now, this, I mean, it's also seen as a costume because you have costumes that represent characters, like, you know, you're dressing up as Superman or something like that. But the difference is the amount of attention to detail. You can go to any, like, Halloween store and get, you know, the Sanderson sisters or, you know, superheroes. But what makes it cosplay is the work and dedication that goes into it to make that character as authentic to the source material as possible. At least that's my interpretation of it. I'm sure there's other interpretations.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Well, I do remember like there like it's sometimes at cons like it's cool to see people who actually kind of like play their character. Like that was always fun for me, but it was never really a requirement.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like it would be really awkward, especially if the character was very antagonistic
Right.
or creepy. So
Yeah. It you know.
it just kind of depends. Like maybe yeah, you could be a cool Bakugo cosplayer. Maybe don't be a giant. I'm gonna bleep myself about it because
Yeah.
that character is a giant jerk. But you don't have to be.
But there's also this other side of cosplay that's into taking characters and turning them a little on, not even turning them on their head, but like, you know, gender swapping something is very common as well in cosplay, and that's still considered cosplay because you are doing this character even if you are gender swapping them. So
Like wouldn't that also fall in more of the like doing a different version of a character, like the horror versions of the Disney princesses that we did,
right.
or you know, because there's a bunch of like subgenres where you break it down. When steampunk was huge, like everybody did a steampunk version of their favorite whatever.
Yeah.
So they still do.
Mm-hmm. I think
It was just
it's just I think the main thing between not just like the price tag of how much you're willing to spend on a costume to like make it awesome, but also it's almost I don't want to say it's a requirement because it's not, but you have a character in mind usually. Like, yeah, maybe it's a horror gender bent version of Cinderella, but it's still Cinderella at its base. And, you're going to put the time and the effort to do all the little details, which is, when you're thinking of a costume for like a Halloween party, you know, they can be a lot more generic. You have, the princess costume. You have the witch costume. You have, the beer can, which I've seen. I think like costuming in just like a party setting, almost like a casual kind of party setting, they can be a lot more generic. And now, don't get me wrong, I've seen some very interesting cosplays of like the tornado from Sharknado. I saw that one year, like I think right after that movie came out, and it was very well put together, and the guy that was in the middle of it was throwing little squeaky sharks at everyone. It was strange but cool. And I just think also cosplay is kind of centered around conventions. Um, I mean, there's other places you see it, but that's like the most common place you'll see like cosplaying in general is around the convention circuits and scenes.
Yeah, because even thinking back to it, usually a Halloween party, it's not a cosplay because it's something that I don't want to get stained or
Mm-hmm.
dirty because I put a lot of work into that, and I want that cosplay to be at a convention that's more geared to people who would recognize it and appreciate it. Or if I just go to a costume party, it's not always the same friends who I go to conventions with.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a higher chance of party fouls happening. And but and not to say I haven't worn, like, I was Harley Quinn at a costume party once, but admittedly I bought a quick Harley Quinn outfit and I always wanted to cosplay her, but I never felt comfortable enough doing a good job, proper job, until a couple of years later at DragonCon. So
Mm-hmm. And actually, in the Wikipedia article that I found, um, they make a point about like talking about like the actual costuming of cosplay, and they bring up the point of cosplay represents as an active embodiment. It's close. It says it's closely linked or has been closely linked to the presentation of self. So it's like because you spent all this time and this effort to make, because a lot of cosplayers will make or piecemeal their costumes together themselves. I think that's kind of the norm almost, or they'll get someone to make it for them if they have enough money. um,
mhm.
they it's showing off. It is kind of showing off. I mean, I know that when I'm wearing one of my crochet cosplays, I'm definitely like, hey, everybody, look what I did. Look at this.
Oh yeah, because like I like to make more of the prop part because I'm
Mm-hmm.
still not really good at sewing. The machine goes brrr and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't always connect, and then there's bunches and it's a mess. So but I will make some props. I had a great time doing the ones for the mermaid, like doing the shell part and all that. And I get really excited about that. Or even lately, like I'm starting to feel really excited about doing the makeup and the hair part, which is
Mm-hmm.
something kind of I wish I would have done more with when I was younger, because I think that would have really made some of my earlier costumes pop better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely. I actually. It's interesting you say that because I was looking at two pictures, um, from like a couple years apart of the Saturn cosplay that I did,
Hmm.
where one was the first time I wore it out at Dragon Con, and then the second one was like a year or 2 years later, where I was wearing it at MomoCon, and The first year I didn't do any makeup because I was like, oh, it's Saturn. She'll, she doesn't wear makeup. And then the second time I was like, no, let's do an eye look. Let's like, you know, just
Hmm.
do something with that. And it's just, it's better. I can't explain. It's just.
Well, I mean, aside from it's makeup,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the little Sailor Moon hands makeup thing for people who are just listening. Uh, but it's also like you're on camera, so if you put on the makeup and you do the shading and the foundation and even out your red and even out your colors and hide the blemish, it really helps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Because.
just not something I did before um my mid 30s.
Because
So I
the.
kind of want to go back to some of my old costumes that maybe still fit. I've got one that was stretchy, so that might still work. I
Because
might be able to be Misato again.
let's face it, one of the points of cosplay is to get on camera. It's to get good
That's true.
pictures.
Well, I did the Christmas Oscar one.
Mm-hmm.
I kept going up to Scott. Like it took me so long because I did so much makeup. Because I'm like, there's no way I can possibly look 14, which is how Oscar looks. But I'm like, if I could at least look 20 something, it's good. I kept going to Scott. I'm like, do I look young yet? Do I look young?
And then you and I have a different aspect of costuming as well because we do costumes for our LARP characters, which is again totally different thing than cosplay because yeah, we're doing a character, but it's a character that no one knows about but us. But we can use, all of the cosplay kind of like knowledge to make our LARP characters extra. And we do. We make them very extra.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, the costuming aspect is one of the things that really like I always knew I'd like LARPing because I was like, "Ooh, combat, that'll be fun." And it's like, wait, and I get to be in a pretty outfit or a cool outfit or some awesome armor? Heck yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, because there's definitely because the LARP that we are part of, or the LARPs that we're part of, is called the lightest touch system. We're not getting wailed on, so we can use stuff like Warbler and foam to make pieces of our costuming, and that is directly from making stuff for cosplay pieces. Because in cosplay, you're not supposed to get touched. You're
Oh man, on that note, because I was helping somebody clear out their closet, I found my old Ohisa bone armor,
Ooh.
which uh most people don't know unless you LARP with me. But basically, it's craft foam, and then I took like a vacuum foam torso off a children's skeleton outfit, and basically layered it with Mod Podge together. So many layers. This literally took me months to do while I was working at home with my TSA job. Like between calls, I would add another layer of Mod Podge. There's so many and then I painted it to make it look like it was marble. And I was so proud of it. And I'm like, I have pictures, and it still makes me so happy. But that thing had to be like replastered like every other game. If it got wet, it definitely had to be replastered.
Yeah.
But it survived. Like I passed that on to some friends who continued to LARP after I retired that character. And I think it still made another year or so. So
Yeah, I remember being very proud of both of the shields that I painted because one of them was a big shield that I painted a phoenix on, and the other one was my little tiny shield that I painted like super intricate like gems and feathers and things on there. Um, but those props have lasted. um, and it's good too because it's the same with like making cosplay props. You want them to last, and like I said, cosplay you can be a little bit more delicate, but things happen, man. It's a convention. There's a lot of people. You can get jostled. Things can fall apart. the big silence glaive that I made for Saturn.
Hmm.
I had like I had made it, and then like the first Dragon Con I had it at, the bottom of it broke off before I even got out the door. And I was just like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll leave it. It's just a tiny piece on the bottom, I'll leave it. And so I fixed it, I glued it back together, and we were at MomoCon when I was wearing it again, and through cosmic logic, we were sitting underneath a set of stairs, open stairs, at that convention center, eating lunch. Someone dropped their phone through the stairs and it hit the staff right on the glued piece. So it broke again in the exact same place. And I was
Yeah.
like, what? But there are lovely pictures of me and Matt inside the like cosplay help center. There was a little, they had like a little room where you could go and fix your cosplay if it broke. They had paint, they had glue, they had nails, they had screws, they had the like power tools to use those things. They had like everything, and we managed to get it put back together. And I was like, it was just sheer dumb luck that the phone smacked it right, like fell right there and smacked it right in the same spot.
Yeah. Ugh.
Conventions, everybody. Chaos incarnate. I miss them dearly because it's 2020, but they are kind of chaos incarnate. Okay,
Yep.
bye. No, my cat hopped up onto my lap and then immediately got off again. I was like, all right, bye.
Aw. So before you were talking about like money and work into a cosplay, I would just also like to let you know, if you are like me and you have a hard time sewing, and if you have a limited budget, there is no shame about going to Goodwill and finding something that is close and alternate to meet your cosplay need.
Oh, yeah.
And you can, especially with shoes, you can get so lucky with shoes and accessories. I highly
Yeah.
recommend.
There's nothing wrong with finding something that's like, especially shoe and jewelry wise, and painting it.
Oh yeah. Or just alternate to make it fit whatever you
Yeah.
need, or even commissioning a friend, a dear wonderful friend.
Well, I mean, you can, a lot of folks do for cosplay, they'll weather things, and you can weather something and make it look older um, by taking basically acrylic paint and fabric medium and mixing them together. And I know there are stores that sell acrylic paint for like 99 cents a bottle. I don't know
Oh
how
yeah.
much the fabric medium is, but you can make something look different real quick. Um, there's lots of tips and tricks. I wonder if maybe we should have done the episode instead of costume versus cosplay, have it be cosplay tips and tricks. Maybe that'll be a different episode.
It could be a different episode.
Yeah, you try and tell us if you want us to do cosplay tips and tricks. Although we're giving a lot of the secrets away now.
Yeah, I'm like at this point I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do because I have bits and parts of costumes that I had planned on doing, but no conventions. So I'm like, do I still want to do those? Or like I had the green bodysuit that I got for Peridot and I never ended up doing Peridot. I have the wigs to try and make a Peridot wig. And I'm at this point I'm like, well maybe if I should just make it into like a Mari Evangelion her green plug suit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a good base. And I
Yeah,
could just add on to that, and
just
I'm,
paint.
I'm yeah, it's like paint and maybe add like one or two areas that have clearly different texture material.
Well, you could even use the thin foam
Yeah,
and
it'll
glue
look like I have extra hips.
yeah,
Oh
glue the
God.
foam on.
Well, because it's like right around the hip size, so it'll be like one of those booty short things that people buy to get extra hippie. I'm like, I don't know if I need extra hips, man.
Ah. Can never go wrong with extra hip.
It's like when I already wear a bustle underneath the
Oh, the Molly dress.
Yeah, there's
the
just like, I already
extra
got
boof.
junk in that trunk. Bam! But you
Yeah,
always have a pillow.
you do always have a butt pillow. Um, well, I know that for myself, I've got the big cosplay that I'm gonna need my handler um, for whenever my next convention is, which is the legend dress.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am going to be the actual dress from Legend, so I'm wearing a morph suit underneath it. I won't be able to see shit. Um, and then I've also got our aquarium night at Dragon Con. I've got that fancy, but that's more of a costume rather than a cosplay.
Yeah, really started that. They're vaguely fish based.
They're vaguely fish based.
You were doing the whale shark?
I am, yes.
Yes, I was doing the jellyfish because I hate myself. No,
It'll look good. It'll look good.
it'll look good. I was having princess jellyfish flashbacks. So that was the main reason I wanted to do a jellyfish.
And then I think the last kind of big build one is I am planning on redoing my Rainbow Bright costume, but crochet this time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had a Rainbow Bright cosplay. It was really cute. I enjoyed wearing it. It's a little short. Um, Unfortunately, I had a terrible run in with some poison ivy, and I wore the costume to a Halloween party, and this was after I wore it at Dragon Con, and the poison ivy got all over the dress and the sleeves,
Ooh.
and I was like, I could wash this, but I also really, well, back up. First thing that happened is that the dress and the sleeves were one piece, and I had nothing to change into, and the poison ivy like was bugging the hell out of me. So much so that I was like, I want to leave, or I need to get it off, but I had nothing to put on, so I ended up cutting the sleeves off of the dress, and then like
Okay.
putting them in a bag, like quarantining them.
Banished.
Vanished. I ended up tossing them, but then the rest of the dress like had the oil on it, and so I ended up tossing that as well. So I was very sad because I that took a time. That took time and effort to make that, and I had to end up trashing it just because of poison ivy. um because I was really paranoid. I was like, I could wash the dress, but what if it's still on there, and then I'll have poison ivy other places on me besides my arm. So I'm gonna remake it, but this time in crochet. That's the plan, anyway.
Good. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Like, I think like half the people in my cosplay groups just did not have spoons with everything going on to even work. Like, half of them have been really super productive, or like, we're already ready for next con because we thought we were going one this year, and the rest of us are like, oh yeah, no, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
make it through day by day, man.
Yeah, I had a big burst of like uh making juice for my cosplays back at the start of quarantine, and I made the mock-up dresses. So I at least know that the patterns work, but for making the actual dresses themselves, I have kind of been putting off. Um, A, because I have to buy the fabric now, and B, because I'm like, I'm gonna do other things like work on writing and do some crochet, small projects.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I love doing cosplay. Cosplay is super fun. But again, spoons are needed because cosplay is intense, or it can be. Depends on how dedicated, how much detail you want to put into it. Doing just a costume is a little bit easier.
Yeah. And it's also like you said, it's about attention.
Mm-hmm.
About like somebody being like, "Wow, I like your cosplay," or "That's my favorite character," or
Yeah.
It's
It
just
it is a
it's nice
it is a
in
little bit
pictures.
it is a little bit about the attention.
I feel pretty.
One of my favorites was last year when I did Pink Diamond, because that was a character that had like by the time I went to Dragon Con, I think she had been a known character for a couple of months.
Hmm.
It must have been a couple of months because I had enough time to crochet the cosplay. So,
Yeah. She was known, but we didn't see a lot of Pink yet at that time.
so like having people being like, "Oh, you're Pink Diamond," and then my three favorite questions: Is that crochet? Did you make that? Are you hot? Every single time. um. So yeah, it is like because costume is a costume. Be like you get especially if it's just like a costume party. Actually, if it's costume party, a lot of the times people don't even comment. They're just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute," or "Hey, welcome to the party."
I will say we had one of the early ones I went to like in I will say in Kennesaw times, the
Mm-hmm.
Kennesaw ages for myself, which is like my 20s. One of our friends showed up as Edward's no yeah, Edward Scissorhands with like the whole leather suit and the scissor hand part and the hair, and I was just like, ah. I'm biting my finger, just like it was. I'm a goth at heart, so it was really hot, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's like he's such like a button down, like straight laced guy. You never would have thought it. I'm like, I'm seeing you in a whole new light now. So it is also fun to be able to like party with your friends and do something a little unexpected.
Oh yeah, I think the first because everybody that was in our current friend group um had only kind of seen me in LARP as my princess character, and then we went to your wedding, and I had gothed up for it,
Yes.
and everybody was like, "I'm sorry, what?" It's fun.
It really is fun.
So costume or cosplay, it probably there's not really a versus. It's do what you want, do what's fun for you. If you like doing the super intense like character driven, I want pictures, I want attention, kind of thing of cosplay, or if you just want to be chillax and have costumes, uh, do what's fun.
Yep. That's pretty much what you should always do.
Yeah. So, if you have thoughts and opinions and you'd like to let us know, you can chime in by emailing us at geekgrills@gmail.com, or you can also tweet us at geekgrills. So, what are you anticipating coming up, Ray?
I have Acquisitions Inc. D&D on Wednesday that will also be on Simulacra TV on YouTube and Twitch. Mostly YouTube. Uh, and then I'm also trying to psych myself up for the virtual Gods LARP this weekend.
Ah, yes.
And looking forward to an end to the back pain since I did a wonderful wipeout on
Oh.
my roller skating on Friday on the concrete parking deck.
Oh,
It's,
dear.
yeah, no, I hit my tailbone like to the point like today was a half day because it was still hurting.
God.
Not
Yeah.
helped by the fact that I helped my friend move.
No, I've done that. I've done exactly that. And this was in college, and my friend was trying to teach me how to inline skate. This was before we discovered that I am a complete klutz. This was one of our first indications. Is we were skating around this little like circular open area at the campus, and I like my feet went out from under me somehow. I fell right on my tailbone, and my entire vocabulary was shrunk down to one four-letter word. All I could say for about a minute and a half was shit. That's all I could say. Like, my friend's like, "Are you okay?" And all I'm saying, shit, shit, shit. I couldn't say anything else, and I don't know why. It was.
I was so mad because like I was fully geared out. I had my helmet on, I had my mouth guard, all my pads. Do I fall forward like I'm supposed to? Like I've learned how to do? No, I
No.
slip, and I don't even fall on like the cushy part.
Yeah,
I
I
have
was.
lots of cushion. I miss the cushion and get the lower back, and I was just like, I made
Yeah.
myself get up. I made myself do one round to try and gauge how bad. I'm like, nope, nope, too bad. We're done. We're done.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you want to get back up.
yeah, that
Oh
was
no.
my experience too.
So
You missed
yeah,
your cushion. You missed your natural cushion.
I did. I don't even think like they have butt pads like specifically for if you fall backwards you can
Mm-hmm.
wear them. I'm like I don't even think that would have saved because it's
Nah,
just that lower.
you would have had to wear your bustle.
I don't even my bustle like the waistband of the bustle would have gotten some of it, but I become reacquainted with my very favorite friend, Ibuprofen-chan. Uh,
It's fair. It's fair.
it's good. Well, it's just gonna take time. What are you looking forward to?
I am already beginning the prep for NaNoWriMo. I'm working still on re-editing, revamping, rewriting, call it what you will, my book. Um, I've just added a whole bunch to like the beginning because like I was looking at it from where I had edited it before, and I was like, I took out all of this like foreshadowing. I took out all this because it was really obvious, and then like I suddenly realized that I'd taken out too much. I was like, she seems the character seems totally normal until like one thing happens, and then it's like, where did this come from? It's all of a sudden, boom.
Out of left field.
Yeah, I was like, well, let me put things back in because that I took out too much. I edited it too much. But yeah, I'm basically kind of it's kind of like warming up almost because I'm writing in something that's already written. So that way, when it actually comes time to sit down and write something new, I'll just be ready to go. And then also virtual LARP. I'm interested to see what the deal is this time, because
Yeah.
it's, I know they're doing their best.
Yeah, you did the last one. I missed it, so I'm not. I'm trying to figure out like.
Well, the last one was Weird Dreamscape,
Mm-hmm.
so we were all in a weird dreamscape together. So it didn't affect anything in the physical world, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
they're probably going to do something similar. But we'll see on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till Friday to gauge how I feel.
Yeah, and
You know,
then
it's just from like neck up.
and then probably more crafty things. I've already started a little crew member over here, back behind me, based of course off of Among Us. Because, it seems pretty simple. I'll just need a little cylindrical body, some legs, and a backpack, and maybe a little visor. And then, get a couple of those going. See if, put them up on my website. See if they sell.
Ooh, depending on the size, I could probably use like doll clothes because you get different costumes.
Yeah.
Like Scott likes to do a business theming with his.
Oh yeah, no, I've already thought about it. There are doll things you can get at Joann's, and I'm like, yeah, should just make it the right size and then go to Joann's, pick up the little thing, and be like, donk, here you go, accessories.
I need my communist cat girl, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So that's me. And, remember, folks, you can always come and watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. The next one will be on the 19th at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST.
All right. And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, thank you. We are supported by our amazing patrons. You are the greatest girlfriends on the internet. And you can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, which, oh my gosh, you should watch The Boys. Not, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch. I need to talk to people about The Boys finale. I should have put that in.
Yeah.
Next week.
Next week. And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. Leaving a review is free, and they help our ranking, which can help other people find our podcast. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like to help spread the word. So, where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Instagram under DoppelDame and on Twitch as Ray Ino. I swear at some point I will stream again. But you're better off catching me on Instagram. That's at least a weekly update. What about you, Linda? Where are you hiding?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the name madcap_misc. That's MISC. You can check out my website at madcapm.com. That is my storefront.
Excellent.
Yes. And you can find Ember. She can be reached at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch. I believe she's on hiatus from Hearsay and Heresy, just because she's working very hard, but she'll be back on there as soon as the month of October is concluded.
You can show her your love by going out there and voting.
Yes. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
Right. Good game. GG.
Bye. All right. I'm going to... Bye.